Good morning, dear students. I am Dr. Bhatini Srinivas, Professor of Chemistry, working in St. Peter Engineering College, first year BTech and Unit 3rd. Today topic is corrosion control method. Corrosion control method. How to control the corrosion? Why we need this one? What is the importance this one? For example, iron pipes, underground iron pipes getting rust after many days in the ground, or industrial pipelines, petrochemical pipelines, water pipelines. So after getting rust, if you remove that rusted pipes and replace that a new one, it takes a lot of time and more cost effective and waste money and a waste of time. So for this, the best method is prevent the corrosion. Prevent the corrosion. How to prevent the corrosion? That is our class today. What is that? Corrosion control methods. Corrosion control methods are mainly divided into 6 types, 6 or more, but among that 2 are important according to our syllabus: the cathodic protection and surface coating. These 2 are very important questions. Sometimes may ask you from these 2 only for long question also. And before that, cathodic protection and surface coating, that designing the metal and how to use the metal and use of pure metal and metal alloys and modifying the environment, use of inhibitors. These are also control the metal and proper designing, and pure metal we have to take, and alloys, different types of alloys will not get the rust. So now today we have to discuss cathodic protection and surface coating. That is our okay? The method, the best prevention or best control method. Cathodic protection is the important method. The cathodic protection is again divided into 2 types. One is the sacrificial anodic method and impressed current cathodic method. Impressed current cathodic method mean we have to protect the cathode. We have to protect the cathode. Mean the metal by making it behave like a cathode. So what we want to protect that metal, iron pipes or iron sheet, that is the base metal. If you want to protect that we have to modify the cathode. By how? By these 2 methods. One is the sacrificial anodic method, another one is the impressed current cathode. And sacrificial anode is what? The sacrificial anodic method, in this, the base metal, what you want to protect, either a sheet, iron sheet or any sheet, that is called the base metal. That base metal always connect to the anodic by wire. A metallic wire connected the base metal to anodic metal. And the base metal act as a cathode, mean completely the corrosion concentrated at anodic metal. I will give the best example. Mean the anodic metal slowly getting rust. slowly getting rust from the base metal. For best example is the hulls of the ship. For example, here this is the ship is made by completely iron. Okay, this iron one is getting rust by the ocean corrosion. So the salt water is there. So too much of salt water in that. So how to protect these hulls? So we have to use the one zinc metal. Here the zinc, this is called the zinc metal. Zinc, okay, one metallic sheet, and this metallic sheet connected to what we have to protect? Hulls, the hulls of the ship. Now the iron sheet, the corrosion slowly transfer into the zinc, and zinc will slowly getting complete rust. And many sheets are connected to the hulls of the ships, and we have to protect. The protection of ship hulls below water line. So otherwise something you have to that iron sheet, zinc sheets also here keeping that on the surface of the metallic base. So this is called the water protection of ship hull is the best example. And sometimes here pipes, underground pipes also, underground pipes like this one. The iron pipe, the underground iron pipe is connected to the magnesium rod, the active metal, then iron, and the magnesium act as a anode after some times, and iron becomes the cathode. Mean that iron is transferring the total corrosion to magnesium. So the magnesium will get the corrosion. So iron never get the corrosion if you connect the magnesium rod or magnesium wire to the iron pipe. Mean completely transfer the corrosion and deposit it on the magnesium rod. So this is the sacrificial anodic protection. Mean so the magnesium is sacrificed. Magnesium is sacrificed. And here zinc is sacrificed. Actually zinc metal will not get the corrosion. But when it is connect to the anodic, that is iron base metal, the base metal slowly transfer the corrosion towards zinc, and a lot of corrosion deposited on zinc. So it is called sacrificial anodic protection. And now second one is the impressed current method. So impressed current means we have to apply the external current. The impressed current means that AC current or battery current, that is the current is opposite to the corrosion current. So example, you have to take this one. The underground pipe is connected to the AC line, and the AC line is connected to the one backfill, mean anodic graphite. It is connected to the one anodic graphite. So this is surrounded by the gypsum. This is the graphite. This is completely graphite, connected to the graphite. And when the pipeline here when passing or impressed the line, this is opposite to the corrosion current, to nullify the corrosion current. So this is called the impressed current method. Then it will not get the corrosion. Mean here what is that? The impressed current, an impressed current is applied in opposite direction to nullify the corrosion current and convert the corroding metal from anode to cathode. The pipeline base metal completely converted to the corrosion. This impressed current is slightly higher than the corrosion current. Okay, that is the sacrificial current and impressed current. And now surface coatings. This is also a protecting the corrosion. So here the surface coatings are mainly two types: metallic coating and organic coatings. Metallic mean one metal is there, we are coating by another metal, the powder coating, metallic coating by cords and beads, etc. And organic coating means that organic paints are applied. So these are the mainly two types: metallic coating and organic coating. So what are the requirements for the protection? Actually, coating is applied that must be chemically inert because it prevents the penetration of the environment. The coating must be penetration. And this metal used for the coating may be placed in two categories, mean that is in the galvanic series, above the galvanic series and below the galvanic series. The metals which are anodic metal that are placed in the above galvanic series. The metals which are cathodic to the metal, that is below it, the metals below it in galvanic series. That are the requirement for the protection. And here, before going to protect that, before going to coating, organic coating or metallic coating, so we have to first that what we have to coating, that should be, you have to clean well. Mean first of all, any organic solvent like petroleum ether or any solvent or water, we have to clean well, or toluene or acetone, whatever may be, any organic solvent, we have to clean it because some oils are present in that, that oils are dissolved in organic solvent, greases, salts and fatty substances. First of all, before going to coating, we have to clean with the solvents. And next, further, so after that cleaning, we have to clean well with the base, that is the alkali, mean the base, base mean dilute sodium hydroxide. Mean some old paints are there, that old completely paints are removed by the treatment with the basic solution. That is a trisodium phosphate along with the soap water or wetting agents, and clean well. And then picking and etching. Remove the scales, whatever the scales old one is there, we have to remove the scales by adding adherent metals except aluminum immersed in acid picking. So if you are using that aluminum getting the rust because aluminum react with the acidic solution. But other than aluminum, all metal we can dip in an acidic solution, then it will be clean before going to coating the metal or painting the metal. So what are the applications of metallic coating? This is very important. The application of metallic coatings are three types, mainly hot dipping, metallic dipping and electroless plating. The hot dippings mainly, what are the metals can be used? Zinc, tin, lead, aluminium and iron, steel or copper we have to use for the dipping these metals. So hot dipping used for the coating for the low melting metals. Low melting metals. And this process also involves two types. One is the galvanizing and second one is the tinning. Galvanizing and tinning. The hot dippings are two types, galvanizing and tin. And galvanizing mean you have to use the zinc metal, and tinning you have to use the tin metal. Okay, galvanizing and tin. The galvanizing, it is a process in which iron or steel is protected from corrosion by coating with a thin layer of zinc. For example, iron sheet is there, iron door is there. We have to protect from the corrosion. How can you use that one? We are coating with a zinc, the low melting point. Iron is the high melting and zinc is the low melting. So what we have to do? That first of all we have to clean well, clean the sheet with acidic condition, basic condition, and wash with the organic solvents like that. So first of all, iron sheet is cleaned with acid at a particular 60 to 90 degrees centigrade temperature. This is the tank filled by the sulfuric acid, and this shape is the iron sheet that coming from the rolls and dipped in the sulfuric acid solution, and then coming towards washing bath and water. First of all, wash with water, then wash with the wash with sulfuric acid, then wash with the washing bath, and then after this water we have to dry it. This is the drying agent. So these are all rollings. The iron sheet coming slowly and dipping in the sulfuric acid, and then coming and dipping in the water bath and drying. This area is called the drying area, and slowly moving towards molten zinc. Here we have to zinc, the molten zinc here at high temperature. The flux we can use in that ammonium chloride used as a flux in this one. So here the iron sheet is here slowly dipped and slowly passing towards here. Why? Because the zinc molten is coated on the surface of the iron sheet, and here if excess of zinc is there, sometimes the rollers two pairs of rollers are there, and some droplets are fall down on this stand, and then later we have to remove from this one. So this is the galvanic sheet. So this is the process for the galvanizing. So we have to galvanizing the iron sheets, and many. So here uses, especially galvanization, it is a protect the iron used for the roofing sheets. Roofing sheets are nowadays we are using the poor people or cinema halls. The olden days they are using that many roof sheets also. And wires, telephonic wires, and pipes, and nails and bolts, screws and buckets and tubs. So all of these we have to use this. So, but not utensils, because that it's sulfuric acid there, it gets poison. So don't use this galvanizing coated material for utensils. So utensils are where galvanizing metals cannot be used for the utensils. Only for pipes, wires, sheets, roof sheets, and nails and bolts. And because there is here, see, galvanized utensils are not used for cooking because the solubility of zinc are there. Solubility of zinc. Because here, that low melting point, whenever you are cooking, the slowly zinc is dissolved in water, and then it's get poisoned. And tinning means you have to use the tin metal. In this you have to use the tin metal. So here the tinning is the process of coating of tin over the iron sheet. There that zinc is coated. Here the tin is coated on the surface of the iron sheet or steel particles. Here we have to clean first of all in the organic solution, and then we are using the bath and molten flax, and same like that here same thing also there. First here see these two rules are there. So when that sheet, whatever the iron sheet coming through here, these are the rollers. So iron sheet is coming from like this, and here you have to dip in the acidic picking, mean you have to clean this whatever may be that the iron sheet. So the old rust is there, very cleaned by picking in acidic water, and then the iron sheet is slowly moving towards the molten tin. Here the molten tin is there here, molten tin. Here you have to use the zinc chloride as a flux. Zinc chloride, ZnCl2 used. There we have to use the ammonium chloride as a flux. Here we have to use the zinc chloride as a flux. So then again here slowly moving towards, and finally some palm oil is there. Palm oil. You have to use the palm oil because the tin is adhering this one. Here after that, after cleaning, after dipping in the oil, then they move slowly outside. I mean this is the tin plated sheet. So the sheet is tin plated sheet. I mean the process is same in both galvanizing and tinning. In the galvanizing we have to take the metal, the zinc coating on the iron sheet or steel sheets. Here the tin coating on iron or steel. Just the metal is different. Tin is used here, tinning, there zinc is used tinning, and flux here in tinning, zinc chloride as a flux, there ammonium chloride used as a flux. So these are the two types. So here it is widely used for the coating of steel, copper and brass. The tin is used not only iron, steel and copper metal and brass metals, all metals coated by the copper coated metal and zinc coated metal by tin metal. So it is used to store foodstuffs, ghees, oils, kerosenes, etc. Pickles also, pickles are used for the refrigerator equipment. You can use for this purpose. And metal cladding. Metal cladding means the surface of the base metal to be protected is sandwiched between the two thin layers of coat metal and pressed between the rollers like this one. Here, this is the aluminum sheet. It is a cladded metal. This method is used for the especially aluminum, chromium, nickel, dura aluminum, so etc. So these metals are actually all corrosions resistant, like nickel, copper, iron, gold, silver and platinum and other alloys, steel alloys, you are to use by using this cladding material. And the final one is electroless plating. Electroless plating. So electroless plating means nickel coating. So here that the deposit a layer of nickel phosphorus or nickel boron alloy on a solid workpiece such as a metal or plastic. So nowadays the plastic also there. The plastic coated by the nickel coating. So look like a iron. It is an iron, but inside is the plastic is there. So nowadays we are using that one. So the plastics coated by the nickel phosphorus or nickel boron. Because the reason here the process relies on the presence of reducing agents. I mean reducing agent like hydrated sodium hypophosphate we have to use, which reacts the metal ions to deposit metal. The electroless nickel plating is an catalytic reaction and used to deposit coating of nickel on substrate. So nowadays this nickel coating is very famous in plastic industries or any other industries. And so what are the advantages of this electroless plating? So here the advantage is the main important. It does not use electrical power. So no need the electrical power. Just we have to dip in the nickel phosphorus. Whatever you want, the plastic, we want the coating of nickel, just we have to decrease that. No need to use it for electrical power. Even coating in a porous surface can be achieved. I mean, at this pot, we will get some part of the metal or some part of the plastic, so that will be not complete sheet. So half of the pot iron, half of the pot the plastic, we have to coating like that. So whatever you want to have. So there is a flexibility in plating volume and thickness. Here, how much of thickness the coating should be high or less, that can be done by us very easily. This process can plate so recesses and blind holes with the stable thickness. And chemical replacement can be monitored automatically. And finally, the semi-bright or bright finishes can be obtained. So if you want the brightness, the lot brightness or semi-brightness or dullness, so we can achieve by this using for nickel electrolysis plating. Thank you very much.